Welcome back. The fundamentals of creating expert systems that make decisions instead of humans is a highly complex subject, and it's only taught in universities. However, when we are children, we learn the most through play. Why not learn expert systems through playing, or rather, through a game? The best expert system is a game by David Martinez. So I can see David is in the call. Hello, David. You can
Good morning.
introduce
Hello.
yourself.
How are you?
Yeah, hello. I'm fine, thank you. Kindly introduce yourself, and the floor
Yes,
is
of
yours.
course. I have a PowerPoint about it. In the first slide is my track, my story, and a resume of myself. So if you want, we can start for this. I start to share.
You can introduce yourself as you're sharing the screen.
Okay. My name is David Martinez, not David, because I'm Spanish. I live in Spain. I studied computer engineering at the Universidad Complutense of Madrid and completed it in the last century falls. So I am a computer engineer for another millennium. This allowed me to be continuously involved in the field of computer science for almost the last 25 years. And 4 years ago, I started to work in my personal trademark, Inforada, where I work now, and dedicated to transfer all the knowledge that I'll get in 25 years to small and middle-sized enterprises, focusing on task automation and the application of expert system to decision making. And as my name is very common, later I put a LinkedIn of myself to try to contact me if you want. So I think that is a good ratio of myself.
Yeah, we're still waiting for your slide.
Yeah, it's
We're
like,
still waiting for your slide.
let me, a second that I share my computer. Here it is. Here it's the same. Can you share my screen? Thank you.
Awesome.
This is the same that I tried to explain in the last minutes about myself. And if you want, my LinkedIn to connect with me if you enjoy this talk. So let's start. We are going to talk about in the next minutes of what an expert system is, how expert systems can help us in our daily lives, and above all, how the learning of expert systems could be applied to board games in the early days of computing when we start to learn a language or any other subject in IT. This will lead us to the central part of this talk, when we are going to see how implementing a simple board game or any kind of game that can help us to create better expert systems in any field. So what an expert system is? An expert system is a type of computer program designed to emulate decision-making capabilities of a human expert in a specific area. It consists of a database of specialized information and logical rules to enable that the system could analyze data, make inference, provide solutions or recommendations based on its knowledge. These systems are used to address complex problems into specific fields, simulating the expertise and reasoning of a human expert in any field. For instance, if we have a medical expert system, we could have a database that could help us to make a diagnosis of a ill and show to the doctor a couple of illness that could match with the situation that he has in his consultancy. So how do expert systems can help us? An expert systems assist us with knowledge representation, storing and organization specialized in knowledge of specific domains. Help us in problem solving, analyzing data, evaluating a great amount of scenarios in a short time, and providing us solutions or recommendations. Also, help us in decision support. assisting us in making informed choices and offering reasoned suggestions. And also have consistency and reliability, ensuring consistency and reliability decisions making process 24/7. So what is the relation between board games and expert systems? Alan Turing written his first chess program in 1948 in collaboration with David Campernoun, and they read it but can test as soon as they write because there was no computer with enough power to run it. In 1952, he tested the program simulating the moves proposed by the computer game. This first program loses his first match with a middle-level amateur chess player, but it's not what a problem, because in the second match against an amateur player, the wife of Campernoun, the machine could win. This was a real success for a computer game, could win a human. Not very good human, but a human anyway. This was the beginning of a great trajectory of classic games transferred to computers upon the turn of video games and creation of games entirely exclusive to the technological realm. We have a couple of historic games. I pick 4 in this case because we have a large list to talk about them. But this was very important. Chess by Turing and Campernoun, as we say. Later, Nimrod by John Bennett. This was an image of Nimrod. That is a classic game that has name DIM related to computer games. Also, Tic-Tac-Toe or XO game by Alexander Douglas. And in the 60s, the main recognized industries of the video games start to work in this material and start with Space War, a specific game that in Spanish we call Marcianitos, that is a game between humans and strange icons in the space. And also Pong by Atari in 1771, with Atari and one of the leading companies in the 70s and 80s in developing games. But it didn't stop here, because we have Deep Blue in action. Turing test state that a computer is intelligent if we cannot determine whether the game is played by a human or by a computer. That was the goal of the middle 80s and 90s for IBM, and in 1996, the great match between Kasparov and a machine was present. Kasparov, if you don't know him was the major world champion in chess, only have a rival in these times with Anatoly Karpov, and won almost every match he played. The match between Deep Blue and Kasparov finished winning by Kasparov, but the next year the machine won Kasparov. First one, the human could win with 2 victories to 2 defeats, and a year later, in 1997, the machine win with a little advantage from Kasparov. Deep Blue was a very high machine. It has 30 nodes with 30 processors, each one of 120 megahertz. To give us an idea of how is this capacity of processing, here we have a similarity with them. When I started to study in my university in 1996, more or less when this machine was developed, at my computer room in my university, I have Intel 486 processor at 33 megahertz. And now is the processing that Deep Blue has that we could get in a current high-performance workstation. So what can we extract from this learning of major companies? I believe that if we want to design an expert system that help us to make decisions for space shuttle navigation, loan approval, even medical diagnosis, we must start with the foundations of any expert system. That is developing a game, as Deep Blue, but in a small size. How to apply expert systems to gaming? We have 4 major topics. In a game, we have to present options to the side, the form of a graph of a tree. This is what we know as board game or game space, option to choose. Also, we have a strategy to win. In a game, we have to to ensure that the machine proposes correct solutions or recommendations, or the way to win a game. Also, it must apply to discard options that are incorrect, that are impossible. Avoid losing. And above all, it must take anticipation in decisions, moves, or creating a winning strategy and have a chance to victory, proposing 2 or more scenarios that can guide us to the winning. This is the strategy. And if these don't rules, oops, we lose the game. So the machine is capable to understand when the game is over. We have a little demo focused on my experience. I developed this in the 1996, a little game, an expert system, as part of my studies of computer engineering. And I think that is a good opportunity to share this with all of you and try to see how a board game could be applied to learn expert systems. This is the game. Well, this is not the game. This is a renewed version of the game I developed. I started developing in CLISP, this language of National American Space Agency, that help us to take decisions in a short time of time based on C language of developing program. Because it was a classroom exercise at my university for artificial intelligence, and following my teacher guidance, I attempt to implement the same game in each programming language that I have learned. And I think that is a good idea. This version is in JavaScript using Fraser framework, previously in Cordova, previously in vanilla JavaScript. And the game base is very simple. We need to pick as much sticks as we want of any row and lose the last one that need to pick the last stick. Okay, so I can do something like this. Machine is going to do the next move. I could do this. I'm going to be fast. Try to be in the last steps. So in this situation, we have to create a strategy to win, and the machine could do the same. So the machine learn how could win, picking movements, and create a tree in the background where it's advance of the move. So any move that I do in this moment, because we have balanced 3 sticks with 3 sticks and also an along stick here, is to reply my move. So if I pick 1 stick, machine, then pick another movement to make me decide. So what can I do? Pick another one, and the machine just won the game. So I must pick this machine, pick the other one, and I have to pick the last. So I lose the game. In these situations, the tree is very important because it's a graph between options and decisions. When we have an expert system, the expert system did not decide. The expert system proposed. So what can we do this in a game? The machine must decide. We need to establish weights for any decision, and the machine pick the first one. It's the optimal decision for any expert system. The option, the assert with more weight, that is moved to the top. So I think that that's all for myself. I don't know if here we have any question. If you like it, we have here a slide where you can get these slides, and also you can get the game or play the game in online when you want.
Wait.
Thank you so much, David.
Sorry.
Wow, that was super insightful and informative. I believe the viewers have really learned a lot from that session. And I want to see whether we have any question in the chat section. Seems there are no questions. So thank you so much, David. I believe in the course, possibly people will how can we get to you possibly through the socials, LinkedIn or Twitter?
Yes, my social is here at the top. Let me a second. Here it is. Okay, you have any question, you can connect with me in LinkedIn and say anything. Also, if you pick the code of this session, could link with me because I have a form there.
Awesome. This session will also be on YouTube for the viewers if you want to get back to the session. So thank you so much. We'll be having our next session in a few.
Thank you.